Gun Freak Nation. It's the App TElectrik. I want to put some myths uh, to bed. All right. It's a lot of people that think because you got a more expensive gun that it's the better gun, or they just getting it because of the hype, the brand name. What I'm trying to say is, got my gun freak juice. What I'm trying to say is, ladies and gentlemen of the Gun Freak Nation, is that you don't have to have a expensive, ultra expensive firearm to, defend your life, defend your family. Trust me, I've owned like firearms that cost like almost $3,000, like $2,500 or something, or $2,000 or $1,800. I mean, if you could consider that expensive, right? And some of the ones like I'm gonna be honest with you, the BNTs, I never had luck with the BNT. I had the GHM compact, and I had the TP9, the BNT TP9. Both were Jamomatics. Maybe it was a break-in period. I don't know. However, I also own firearms on the lower spectrum of, lesser expensive, inexpensive, is what I'm trying to say. And no break-in period was required. They worked, right off the bat, man. They just worked flawless. All right. So my thing is, you don't have to have a Daniel defense when you got companies like MCS Gear Up, Palmetto State Armory. Those are the two online companies I personally have dealt with and still continue to deal with. And I've never had any issues from those, from the firearms. Now, I've had a Maxim defense. My first Maxim defense was it was a PDX. It was chambered in 7.62, and it was dope, man. But I had issues with it. I gotta have transparency. I believe it was a break-in period, and I never shot it enough to get to that, to get to the period where it should be flawless. However, I had lesser expensive guns, no break-in period required. But I love Maxim defense. Here's one right here. This is a Maxim defense PDX chambered in 5.56. A little shorty. You know what I'm saying? Nice and compact. I love it. But this is a over $2,000 firearm right here. This right here. This is like 2,200, 2,300, 2,400. You're not gonna find this under $2,000. Brand new. You're not gonna find it under 2,000. All right. It's a 5.56. Looks sweet as fuck, right? But you ain't going off of looks. I mean, I do sometimes, but when it comes to defending your life and your livelihood, your family, who gives a care about looks? As long as it go bang when you squeeze that trigger, right? Now, here's a firearm, Palmetto State Armory. I got the upper and I got the lower. This is like maybe like 400 or less, and it goes bang every time I squeeze the trigger. You feel me? This is an 8.5-inch barrel, 5.56. Oh, now I'm ATF good because this is not a vertical grip. It's a Strike Industries angled grip, okay? So it's not a 90 degree, it's, angle. This is like 86 degrees or something like that. It's not 90 degrees, so it's perfectly legal. But this right here, probably 400, sub par 400, whatever. And it's a 5.56, 8.5 inch barrel. And to be quite honest with you, I like it just as much as I do the Maxim Defense. You know, I like it as much as the Maxim Defense, the PDX. So I would say grab you one of these, man. It's not expensive at all. It's very, very budget friendly. And if that savage ever was to ever try you by pulling a home invasion on you, I'm just as confident that this will handle the job. This will put that threat down, send that threat to Funky Town. Just as much as this one right here. But see, the thing of it is, anytime when you have to use your firearm, police gonna take it and they're gonna lock it up. They're gonna put it in jail. It's gonna be locked up in the evidence room until your case, your self-defense case, is adjudicated. And you may get it back or you may not get it back. So would you rather them take a $2,000 gun or a $400 or subpar $400 gun? Of course, I would rather take. I can afford to lose this one. You feel me? And you just don't know whether you're gonna get it back or not. I had a gun that was stolen from me like 7 or 8 years ago. And the police recovered it like, I believe that was last summer. It might have been 2 years ago or something like that. It's been a minute. And the case was adjudicated, and I'm thinking I'm going to get it back. It was a Canic TP9. I only paid like $400 for it. It was like a Sweetest Day gift for me. I got it on Sweetest Day. Bought it for myself. And it was stolen from me. This was way before, I didn't even have a gun I didn't have a gun channel at the time. Gunfreaknation wasn't even thought of at the time when it happened. But they recovered it. And initially they was like, if, when I first reported it stolen, the officer, the detective was like, Mr., you can get your gun back. If we find it, we're gonna return it back to you. Since then, they said the laws have changed, and now, in order to recover your gun, you have to hire a lawyer. Well, when I called around for lawyers, their fees was like just crazy. Like they wanted like $250 an hour, and I wasn't willing to pay that much money to get a gun that only cost me like $400. It just didn't make any sense to me why pay $250 an hour for a $400 gun, and in the process of the case probably would have lasted more than 2 hours. So they don't want us to have guns. You should not have to go before a judge and hire an attorney and then explain why you want the gun that you legally bought with your own money. You got to explain to them why you need it back. Tell me that, that's some bullshit. And they don't want to see none of us armed. So it goes back to what I'm saying is, you don't need an expensive firearm like this when you got something that's, in my opinion, just as good, because both of these firearms here, they shoot the same bullet, 5.56 or 2.23. Because this gun is more expensive, that 5.56 bullet's supposed to be more lethal, more lethal or something. I mean, it's gonna send the savage to Funky Town even faster because it's coming from and out the barrel of a more expensive gun, or this one ain't shit because it's a cheaper gun, so the bullet ain't gonna be lethal. I mean, it's all bullshit. At the end of the day, it's all about reliability and the components that make up your gun. Some of them may be more, quality or something, but me personally, I don't plan on shooting my firearm, 500,000 rounds through it, or 10,000 rounds, or 5,000 rounds. Hell, even 1,000 rounds. All I needed to do is to go bang when I pull that trigger in a life or death situation. Anyway, Gun Freak Nation, I want to know, what are your thoughts? I mean, if if your opinion different from mine, I would love to hear it. Leave it in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and till the next one. Listen, y'all stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous, and be ready to send that dirty, low down, funky, stinking savage to Funky Town. Whether it's a cheap gun or an expensive gun, long as it go bang and get the job done, that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? Love you, Gun Freak Nation. Salute.